Right guys, back with another video. Today I'm going to give my predictions out for the AFC, do a little rundown on each division, a few little points about each team. Could go into depth about each team, but I'll be here all day and time's running out till the season starts. So going to start off with the AFC East, and it's only right to start off with them because obviously the reigning champions are in that division. So we'll start off with the Patriots. Obviously, they're head and shoulders above each team in this division. The Bills, the Jets, they've started rebuilding last season, and it looks like the Dolphins have gone into a full rebuild. So it would seem like things would have to go tremendously wrong for the Patriots not to win this division. Obviously, Brady's still there. Last season he showed signs of maybe deteriorating, but he took him to win the Super Bowl. So you can never write him off, no matter. He'll be here till he's 55, I reckon. But yeah, so I'm more interested in talking about the Bills and the Jets. Really, obviously, it'd be interesting to see what sort of step Darnold and Josh Allen do make this season. Particularly Josh Allen with me. The second half of the season, I think he was the top Russian quarterback, was he? I mean, he showed a side of his game that I don't think a lot of people thought he had. He's a very big man, very big and strong. He's a very strong runner. But it'd be interesting to see what sort of offense they'll be running in Buffalo this season. They brought in a few free agents, give him a bit more talent around him. Obviously, in last season anyway, didn't have much around him other than Shady McCoy, who obviously did get released, got waived. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how Josh Allen does this season. Obviously, with the Bills, honourable shout out to Christian Wade, who made it onto the practice squad. That's pretty cool. He obviously scored the touchdown in his first preseason game, which got everyone in the UK excited. And also looking forward to watching the Jets. Obviously, they've brought Le'Veon Bell in. Will he be worth the money they paid for him? We'll soon find out. Obviously, now Darnold's got a good running back behind him. And yeah, see how Darnold gets on as well. He did show signs last season. In my opinion, I think Allen showed a bit more. But Darnold does have all the attributes to be a good quarterback in this league. And we're finished with the Dolphins. Well, let me just say, I think the Bills and the Jets, they could be fighting for around 6, 7, 8 wins each. I don't see either one of them winning 9, 10. But yeah, that's 6, 7, 8 range. I feel like both of them will be in there. And the Dolphins, obviously, it looks like they've gone into a full rebuild. Traded away Larry Tunsil to the Chargers. Made a few little trades here and there. Gaining some picks for the upcoming drafts in the next few years. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what sort of playtime Josh Rosen gets. Obviously, coming out of college, no one thought he would slip as far as he did in the draft. He went to the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cardinals subsequently drafted Kyler Murray, moved Josh Rosen on. But Josh Rosen's one of those characters who always has a chip on his shoulder no matter what. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of playtime he does get and how he utilises it. But he's been put in a bad situation. Ever since he's been drafted, he's not had much around him. So it's going to be a difficult one for him this year to impress because he hasn't got really much to work with. But yeah, I can't see the Dolphins winning many more than 4 games, if that. But they do have Fitzmagic, so So yeah, I got the Patriots winning that division quite easily, really, and then the Bills and Jets fighting it out for the second and third in the division, and then the Dolphins coming along last. So with the AFC West, start off with the Chiefs. I'm really looking forward to seeing Mahomes this year. Obviously, it's his second season as a starter. So the teams around the league have a bit more film on him. But his arm strength and his talent is undeniable. And that offense is absolutely stacked. There's top players in each position on that team. And bringing Shady McCoy in, obviously, that was a bit of a surprise to me. But if anyone knows how to get the most out of a running back, it's Andy Reid, especially in the passing game as well. He sets up his running backs to be successful. Obviously, you've seen when Kareem Hunt went out last year, I think it was Damian Williams come in, and it was more of the same. Puts him in good spots, and that also helps Mahomes as well. He gives him nice, easy throws to the running backs. But his running backs coming out of the backfield, Andy Reid's schemes, they have so much open room. It's a joy to watch it sometimes, isn't it? But yeah. But my pick for the division actually is the Chargers. I think they're absolutely stacked themselves. Obviously, Derwin James, he's gone out. That's a shame because last season he was such a leader on that defense for someone so young. He can do so much from the safety position. I loved watching him play. He was the top player for them. Obviously, it's a shame he went out. But they do need to keep players healthy, and the Chargers seem to fall into the situation each and every year where someone's getting injured every other week. It was a key player. Joey Bosa, he needs to stay healthy. I mean, I don't know what it is with him and his brother, but neither of them can seem to stay healthy. And Nick Bosa hasn't even played a snap yet, and he's been injured a few times in camp. And I know I said he can't, but obviously sat out last year at Ohio. But yeah, I really like the Chargers this year, and I think with Mike Williams, he can be settled down hopefully now. I think it's the first season he had a few injuries, and last season he scored a few touchdowns, he played well, but I think he'll be more in the offense this year. And I love Keenan Allen. If he can stay healthy again, his route running is unreal. Watching slow motion tape on him, and he's incredible. His separation is just mad. Obviously the Broncos, they've brought in Joe Flacco, who in my opinion is bang average. Obviously I haven't been following the Super Bowl for that many years, but having looked back at old videos and whatever, it does seem like his Super Bowl run was incredible, and obviously he got paid on the back of that. But ever since then, he's just been bang average, maybe even some would say below average. But the one thing with the Broncos is that defense is legit. Obviously got the new head coach in, very defensive-minded head coach, and Von Miller and Bradley Chubb up front. I think personally, Bradley Chubb's going to have double-digit sacks this season easily. Top player. Played very well last season. I think he's going to take another step this year. And I think double-digit sacks is well in reach for him. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a strong candidate for Defensive Player of the Year and the sack leader this year. I think he can be bang up there. And finally, I finish off with the Raiders. I'm not sure what's going on with them at the moment. Obviously, the whole Antonio Brown situation seems to be up in the air at the moment. Only half an hour I read a report that he is playing on the weekend, or in their first game, when yesterday it was like he's not playing. So I don't know what's happening. They were about cutting him, doing this, doing that, or suspending him, so they don't have to pay him, and all these different things. But yeah, the Raiders are in a bit of a mess in my head. Obviously, John Gruden's is this his second or third season now? Obviously with his big contract, but I feel like this season Derek Carr, if he doesn't perform at a very high level, which is going to be difficult anyway with the whole Antonio Brown situation going on, and what sort of pieces they have on offense, I don't know, but well, I do know, but how they're going to perform, I don't. Derek Carr, I don't think they'll blink twice at pushing him out the door at the end of the season if he doesn't perform at a good enough level. And obviously, if they don't do well as a team, they are a high pick in the draft, and they may be looking to replace Derek Carr with a quarterback in the draft. I don't know. Obviously, it's been said that John Gruden doesn't really like young quarterbacks, but if you can get a top talent in the draft, then you just got to go for it, haven't you? But yeah, in my opinion, this could be completely wrong, but I've got the Raiders winning 5-6 games this year. Like always, this division is going to be very tight. The Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos and the Raiders have always performed at a decent enough level. But yeah, I've got the Chargers winning it. The Chiefs won't be far behind them. They'll be a wild card, no doubt, in my opinion, if they don't win the division. But yeah, the Broncos won't be very good either. I mean, they probably 5 or 6 games as well. Maybe not even that. But yeah. So we'll move on to the AFC South. Obviously, with the AFC South, the big news coming out in the last few weeks, obviously Andrew Luck retiring from the NFL. Obviously, it was a big surprise to everyone. I remember waking up the following morning and I was having a cup of tea and I nearly spat my tea out when I read that he was retiring. I was like, oh my God. But all the best to him. Obviously, he has struggled in the last few years with some very bad injuries. It's a shame that it's come to this, because only now their GM's getting everything sorted. Their offensive line is one of the best in the league now, and they got some great young talent on that offensive line as well. So it is a shame that his body's got to the point where it has, because he's took so much punishment over the years. But I wish him all the best in his retirement. And but yeah, wow. Having said all that, I still actually fancy the Colts to win their division. Crazy as that may seem, I think their defense is legit. I mean, I'm forgetting his name. Leonard. Is it Leonard, the linebacker? Pretty sure. Yeah, he was serious last season. He was the leader straight away, and it seems they've drafted so well in the later rounds. So they've got all these buzz players who very flying around the field, and their defense is looking pretty good. And obviously with their great offensive line, I feel like Frank Reich will put Jacoby Brissett in a very nice position, not give him too much to do. And yeah, their run game last season was very good as well. And I think if T.Y. Hilton can stay healthy, I could see him having a massive season. I mean, 1,100 yards wouldn't be out of reach, in my opinion. I think he's a very good receiver. Right, so we got the Texans, who have finally got a left tackle who isn't below average when they traded for Tunsil. So hopefully they can keep Deshaun Watson healthy this year. Obviously last year he took such a battering. I mean, the fact he had to travel on a coach to games rather than flying because he was so battered and couldn't physically fly, that says all you need to know, really. I mean, he took an absolute punishment last year. I think he's took the most quarterback hits and sacks in the league since he has joined the league. And that offensive line just hasn't been good enough for the Texans, has it? Yeah, and if they can keep him healthy, they can make noise. If they can keep that pocket open even a split second longer than it has been, he can make all the throws. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, two very good receivers, a very good duo to have. Again, with Will Fuller, I mean, he's been picking up injuries left, right and centre throughout his career so far in the NFL. But he has proved to be a difference maker when he is on the field. He's such a deep threat. And it means the defence can't give all the attention to DeAndre Hopkins. And if they leave Fuller one-on-one, he can burn them. But yeah, Deshaun Watson is the ultimate gamer in my opinion. He's quality. Watching a few games of him in college when he played Alabama in the college championships, he loves it. He always raises his game to the opponent. And I think, was it last season when they played against the Patriots in an absolute shootout? Yeah, love watching it. The Jaguars, obviously, they got St. Nick at the helm now. Be interesting to see how he gets on. Obviously, the last couple of years, he's kind of reinvented himself as a very good quarterback. Obviously, played super well to win the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and he was better than Wentz last season. I know Wentz was injured, but Wentz always seems to be injured. But obviously, it looks like the Eagles have made their decision. They paid Wentz, didn't they, in this off-season, and they've sent Saint Nick over to the Jaguars. If they can get above average quarterback play, you don't know what they can do because we haven't seen it with them. And last season, their defense fell off a cliff, but were they fed up with the quarterback play? They might not say it, but I think they were. I mean, Bortles is Bortles, isn't he? He plays well in London games, and that's about it. But yeah, if that defense can get back to the sort of level they were at, I mean, anything's possible for them. It was only 2 seasons ago when they took the Patriots right down to the wire, and they could have won a Super Bowl out. You never know, do you? But yeah, I got the Titans coming bottom of this division. Something about Marcus Mariota, he's just not improving for me. Obviously, he's very good with his legs, but last season he did pick up a few knocks, didn't he? And yeah, if he doesn't improve this season, the Titans have got a big decision to make because I don't know what sort of money they'll be offering because I think this is his last year in his rookie contract. I could see him going, if I'm being honest. But where they go from there, I don't know who's going to be on the free market. We don't know yet, do we? But yeah, I've got the Colts winning this division. I may surprise some of you. And I've got the Texans and the Jaguars fighting out second. And yeah, the Texans and the Jaguars, yeah, and then I've got the Titans coming bottom of the division. And finally, the AFC North, the division with my Browns in. We'll start off with the favourites to come bottom of this division, which for the first time in forever isn't my Browns. It's actually the Bengals. Obviously, they got a first-year head coach with Zach Taylor, who's come from the Sean McVay tree. As small as that tree may be at the moment, but it seems like if you've touched Sean McVay, you can get a job. So we'll see how he does. Be interesting to see how he works with this offense, see what sort of schemes he brings in, and maybe give a new look to this Bengals offense because with them, it's always with the injuries. AJ Brown can never stay healthy, and nor can Tyler Eifert, and those two are two very good players. I really like Eifert. His leg injury last season was brutal, disgusting. And AJ Green, he's always got something wrong with him. If he is playing, he's always carrying a knock, which is affecting his performance. But if those two can stay relatively healthy, they can have some big years. And Joe Mixon, this could be his breakout year at running back. He runs angry. I love it. I love watching him run. He's good at the passing game. So you never know what Zach Taylor's got up his sleeve for Joe Mixon coming out the backfield. Obviously, we've seen Todd Gurley for the Rams have great success in the passing game for them. And yeah. So we've got the Steelers. Obviously, this season, they've got no excuses. They cannot blame it on outside distractions. They got rid of Le'Veon Bell, got rid of Antonio Brown. There's no more room for excuses now. Their team is what it is, and if those two guys are the bad locker room guys, then that means their locker room should be amazing now and very spirited. Obviously, Juju Smith's going to be getting a lot more attention from the defense because he's obviously their number one receiver now. But very interesting to see how they do this year. I don't have them winning that many. I mean, 9-7 seems probably about right for me with them. But obviously, we will see. Maybe Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown was such a big distraction that they're going to win 13 games, but I cannot see it in my opinion. So next, we're going to go Ravens. In my opinion, I've got them winning this division. As much as it pains me to say that the Ravens, I've got them winning. Lamar Jackson was quite impressive to me last year. He didn't get, obviously he finished the season, he replaced Joe Flacco, but I feel like there's a lot more to come with him. They obviously got the whole off season to tailor an offense to him, and I feel like with that 2 tight end set, I feel like they can make some noise this year. And they're obviously going to be run heavy, and you never know if Lamar's going to keep it or he's going to hand it off. He's so athletic. He's a great runner. He needs to learn not to take big hits because one big hit, he's quite a slender guy, isn't he? I mean, he has put on, they say, 25 pounds of muscle over the off season. it seems like so many players put so much muscle on over the off-season. You don't know what to believe, but yeah, I think he's destined for a big season this year. So yeah, I've got them winning the division. Obviously, their defense is always one of the best in the league. Finally got my Browns. I got the Browns winning 10 games this year. If that's enough to get a wildcard position, we'll find out. Hopefully it is. The only thing with them is the offensive line, in my opinion. Everyone else, every other position, it seems to be very good or excellent. We've got great running backs, great wide receivers. The defense as a whole is loaded, in my opinion. We've got young talent all over the shop. Myles Garrett, like I said in my last video, is an absolute beast. It wouldn't surprise me if he's battling it out with Bradley Chubb for the Defensive Player of the Year, because those two are great young pass rushers in this league. But yeah, if this offensive line can be in the top 15, I don't see why the Browns couldn't even win 12 games. But it's can they go to that level? I'm not quite sure, but let's hope so. Baker is very elusive in the pocket, so maybe, and he's very quick with his decisions, and maybe Freddie's got Baker rolling out the pocket quite a lot and passing on the run, which we know he's capable of. But yeah, if they can be a top 5 offensive line, they could be 12, 13 wins, but I personally don't see that happening. So yeah, I've got the Patriots, Chargers, Colts and the Ravens winning their divisions, and I'm hoping my Browns can get a wildcard spot. Hoping. If they can, there'll be a party in my house, even if it's just me. But I don't mind. Just if the Browns can make the playoffs, my word, that'd be something, wouldn't it? What a turnaround in 2 to 3 years. If you have made it to this point in the video, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you could leave a like, that would be great. This is Friday evening now, so this will be going up pretty much straight away, and I'll get another video out by tomorrow, obviously with the NFL season starting last night, and I'll be doing my NFC predictions, so I will talk about what I made of the Packers and the Bears game. Mitch Trubisky didn't look that great, did he? But we'll get onto that in the next video. So yeah, if you feel like I've underestimated your team, leave a comment. Let me know who you support and how you feel like your team are going to get on this season. Have I overestimated the Colts? Maybe in some people's eyes. But yeah, any interaction would be great. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with my predictions on the NFC and who I feel like is going to go to the Super Bowl and who's going to win it all. Peace out.